Hey fellas, here's what happened to me. It was a whirlwind. My wife, 38 female, and I, 38 male, had been kinda off for a few months. She seemed less engaged. She seemed less aware. Well, she just seemed less interested. At first, I figured it was just a lull, but I started to become suspicious of her when I came home a little early one day. I came back early from golfing because it started to rain, and when I got home, she was laying on the couch looking at her phone. She was very smiley, and when I came in, she was very surprised and immediately changed her attitude. She said, "I thought you were golfing," and I explained we got rained out. Her response was like she got annoyed and she huffed and puffed and got up and moved to another room. I didn't say anything, but later that night I went back to check on her and see what she wanted for dinner, and she had even more attitude. She was just mean and said she didn't care. I asked her what was up, and she said, "What do you mean?" When I said it seemed like she was annoyed I was home, she just said I was ridiculous. But it felt odd, so I said, "You were on your phone smiling, and then you saw me, and you all of a sudden became irritated. What's up?" She said not everything had to be about me. I didn't even know what that meant, so I said, "What were you doing on your phone that was so happy that I disturbed it so much?" And that's when she went crazy. She said, "I'm not doing anything on the phone. I just am trying to have some needed alone time, and I can't." This wasn't true. She had more alone time than ever. I was like, "Let me see your phone." And she said, "What? No way. What, don't you trust me?" I grabbed it from her and headed to the bathroom. She came right after me trying to take it back, yelling, "Give it back." I got into the bathroom and shut the door and locked it, but I couldn't unlock her phone. So as she was right outside the door, I got the phone ready and held it up and opened the door and shut it right away. When I did that, her face was right there and it unlocked it. I shut the door right away and locked it again. Now I started to look at her texts. She must have realized what I did because now she started yelling about how I need to give it back and there is stuff on there that is private. There certainly was. She'd been texting some guy named Tony that plays pickleball with their group a lot. I started reading through some of it and it was clear something was going on. The texts were saying things like, "When can I see you again?" and "Next time you'll have to bring another towel." But the text that was the most revealing was the one that said how he wished that next time he hoped he could give her tattoo a kiss goodbye. She has a tattoo of a kiss right above her pussy. When I read that, I was irate. I yelled, "What the fuck?" At this point, she knew I was aware. She immediately started in on the same old bullshit you always hear. "It's not what it looks like. I can explain." Then she started crying and pleading about how she didn't think it would go this far and how she never meant to hurt me. Every cliche in the book, boys. This woman had them. Next, she was blaming me for not being around and how she tried talking to me. Well, there was no point in talking now. I told her to get out. She cried and threw herself on the floor. I picked her up by the arm and walked her out the front door and pushed her out. I locked the door. I went back and took her shit in the bathroom and some of her clothes and shoved them in a garbage bag and threw it out to her. She was humiliated and crying on the front porch. That was 2.5 weeks ago. She has been staying with her sister and calls me every day and says that she wants to work it out. I'm not interested. She broke us. Then last week, she threatened to sue me if I didn't try to work it out. She said I've caused her so much emotional damage, and she said she'll take me for everything if I don't let her come home. I have retained an attorney and have drafted the divorce papers. She should be served next week. He's explained that technically it's illegal to evict her like that, even though the house is in my name. But he says, what's she gonna do? Hire a lawyer? And just laughed because my wife has no source of income. He thinks the divorce will be a quick one. I'm relieved to hear, and I'm also happy to be moving on. After so long of feeling like shit, I finally feel free. And her? Well, she looks terrible, and she'll regret ever taking me for granted. Do not ever stay with a cheater. Do not ever give a cheater a second. I guess my advice is that. Life's too short to waste any with a partner who doesn't give a shit about you. Story 2. Wife of 18 years cheated on me. I am lost. We met at 19 and fell in love immediately. We were married at 23 and have had an amazing life since. 2 amazing children, financial success, a great sex life, and what I thought was a dream marriage. It all changed 2 years ago when she turned 40. She became cold, distant, and unavailable. She asked for a divorce and said that it was because I was too engaged at work. She then backed out and we started working on our marriage. She would be hot and cold. One day loving me and the next day telling me she was moving out. I fought so hard for 2 years to be the best husband, dad, and lover I could be. 2 days ago, I just had a feeling that something was holding her back. I did some searching around the house and found a receipt where she had sent another man a Valentine's basket with an I love you card. It felt like the wind had been knocked out of me. I've never felt the rage, anger, confusion, and hurt that I felt in that moment. After composing myself somewhat, I first confronted the other man. He confessed that they'd been seeing each other for almost 2 years and that they had been intimate. I then confronted her and she confessed to seeing him, but says that they were not intimate and only kissed one time. I cannot do it. Everything reminds me of her and her betrayal. I have to be cool and calm for the kids, but it sucks so bad. I've contacted my attorney and I'm filing for divorce. I'm so lost right now. Edit. It's been 3 days since I found out. No real remorse, no real apology, and no truths. You'd think after 20 years I would get some level of decency. I'm diving into moving forward. I have an appointment with my attorney on September 4th and working out as much as possible and truly focusing on my kids. I still can't get this possibility through my head. I fucking hate her. Edit 2. I have everything lined up and ready for Tuesday and feel like I'm in a good place. Then last night we talked for 2 hours. She said that we've had problems for years, that I didn't pay her attention, listen to her, and she needed attention from someone. She still doesn't admit to anything more than kissing him once. When confronted with what AP said, she says, "I'll lie if that's what you want to hear." But I didn't do it. She's still cold and still shows no remorse. When I asked about the coldness, she stated she feels dead inside and doesn't know what she feels. I am broken, hurt, pissed, and sad. I still am in shock. I know I'll be fine. I know my kids will be fine. I'm taking the steps to moving on, and with the help of this sub, I'm getting there. Update 1. She is moving out. It has been 10 days since D-Day, and she has finally taken steps to leave. She's getting a key to her new place today, and I'm going to take the kids to the lake for the weekend while she gets her stuff out. We've agreed on custody, support, and division of assets, and is ready to present to the lawyer on Tuesday. She is being unbelievably agreeable and calm. She is still in denial and is still unemotional. I am hurting, but it eases a little each day. I believe with her out of the house, the healing will be much easier. I want to thank this sub and everyone here for allowing me to vent. Still a long road ahead, but I'm willing to travel it with determination and pride. Update 2. Since I found out 14 days ago that my wife had been having an affair, I've been lost and confused. My wife has been completely unemotional and indifferent to the idea that we were divorcing, until this past Friday. We agreed that I was taking the kids to the lake while she cleaned and readied her new place for her to move. As we are leaving, she breaks down. I tell her to calm down, this is what she wanted, and the kids and I left. We had an amazing weekend, boating, jet skiing, tubing, and fishing. It was amazing and such a relief from what has been happening. She, however, was constantly texting me that she was lost and she didn't know what to do, that she didn't sleep with this guy, and that she wants to save our marriage. I was so confused. She's been so cold, calculated, and uncaring. When I got home, she was a mess. She looked broken and weak. I made her take me to the new house to check out where the kids would be staying. There, she told me she couldn't do it. She couldn't leave me. I told her that's exactly the opposite of what she's told me for 2 years, and that her actions have said that she wanted out. So, I was continuing with the divorce. Yesterday, she called in sick to work, was visibly shaken and physically sick. I went to the lawyer anyway. I reviewed the assets, care schedule, and all that. We had a great discussion, and I'm moving forward. She lost it when I presented her with the papers. She's begging for a second chance. I still love her and have hope that we could possibly work things out. I will not live in the same environment anymore. I'm conflicted with what my head wants to do and what my heart wants. Someone talk some sense into me. Final update. 44 days since D-Day. Every day is different. It's been 44 days since the day I found out and 30 days since deciding to try and work on reconciliation. She's been open, honest, and has put effort in every day. She signed the postnup with no hesitation and is currently seeking counseling for herself and our marriage. She has been supportive, attentive, and loving, and appears to genuinely be interested in me and our marriage. I'm doing very well, but still hurting. My wife and I talk daily and are working on being honest with each other about our feelings and what we want out of life. I work out almost daily, have put her and the kids first, and am trying to be reasonable about spending time at work and on video games. My kids are smiling, happy, and can see the change in their mother and I. This makes me so genuinely happy that they are at ease and comfortable. I know that I will never trust her or anyone like I did before, and that kills me. But the light in their eyes are worth this fight to me. We are taking a family trip to New York City next week to escape and reconnect as a family. Thank you to everyone for the support. I will continue to update you and be active on this site. I still struggle with the betrayal, and I'm sure it will never go away. But I pray that I'm able to work through this for my family and my marriage. You did the correct thing by initiating the divorce right away and avoiding the pick me dance or taking the blame. She never showed any remorse or interest in reconciliation till you served her and gave her a glimpse of what her life would be without you. I'm also glad there's a postnup protecting your finances. If any betrayed partner wants to attempt reconciliation, this is exactly how you do it. You make the cheater operate under your terms. Never let the cheater dictate the terms. They broke the relationship. They don't get a say. However, OP, be wary. If there's even a hint she's straying again, discard her.